What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? It's your boy T,
Hey, that's your man B. What's going on, man?
and you on the ride up.
Cheer.
What's good, bro?
It's been a minute. No,
Hey,
non-interview, yeah, it's been a minute. I
this
saw
is
you was on your solo shit earlier, so it's all good.
was we on what
It's
season
episode
two,
5.
episode 5.
Yep, season 2, episode 5. Shout out to the cook up. Shout out to everybody. Like Turkey is listening. Puerto Rico, Toronto, Puerto, all the
Run it up,
states.
run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up.
All the states that listen in: Washington, Oregon, New Jersey, of course. Shout out to South Jersey.
We appreciate
Um,
it. We
everybody in
appreciate it.
Maryland. I need more. I need more from Virginia. I need more from Virginia. We only got 3 cities that we see from Virginia: Woodbridge, Alexandria, and Arlington. So yeah, we
Yeah,
need more from Virginia. But yeah, shout out to everybody listening in, whether or not listening on the cook up or through our podcast.
we appreciate you rocking with us on any platform: Cook Up Radio, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, interacting with us on our Twitter page, listening to us through our home on Anchor, uh, one of the many podcast platforms, including most recently, you can listen to us on Google Music.
New shit. Yeah, yeah. So
So
as
we
as far as the digital streaming platforms, the only one that we are not currently on is the major. As far as the major ones is Stitcher. Like, what up, Stitcher, man? It's like
coming soon,
we had 3,000. Come on, bro.
coming soon. We'll be on Stitcher
We be on.
soon. They'll be knocking at our door.
All right.
How my man, how my man say in on He Back Game, he be 20 banging at the door, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, we had 3,000. We almost had 3,000. What we rebirthed in August. We had like a big off hiatus in November.
Yeah,
So we've been consistent since December. So it's a beautiful thing, man. Shout out to the Black Collective. One of the early spots that we were that I found as far as Black creatives and podcasts that were
right.
promoting us, and that cross promotion or whatever. And yeah, man, let's we're trying to get it, man. Let's get it bigger and better. Pause.
Yeah, so we let the smoke clear before we jumped into the NFL draft recap. We let the smoke clear, let everybody do their, you know what I'm saying, videos and blogs and pods and all that stuff. And we didn't rush because where we going? We ain't going nowhere. We all quarantined.
Right. There might not
We're not
even
about
be
to
a
start.
season.
The season ain't
Might
about to
not even be
start. So why rush?
right.
Don't rush.
There's been a couple of interesting maneuvers that's happened since then.
Yeah.
Also, Andy Dalton's in Dallas right now. Um, even
Cam
during
still unsigned.
Cam's still unsigned. Even with that, Trent Williams is a 49er now. So there's been some things that came across the last couple of weeks. And then the schedule is supposed to drop tomorrow. Who knows
Yeah.
if it's happening? We don't even want to mention what's happening, but what will affect that. But we'll see what happens, man. They
So
they want to keep the hype going. So
so getting into this since we talking football, let's let's start local first. Brian, what's your feel on Trent finally getting traded? What's your feel?
my feel is what I was saying in some of the other, like, this is what I want y'all to do. Back catalog. It's all on Anchor.fm. It's all everywhere, man. Podbean, wherever you get your podcast. I said that the previous administration devalued Trent Williams, and that's exactly what happened. a fifth and a third. You can't be mad at somebody that is trying to like put out fires and that's trying to, do salvage.
Do you think there was any truth to the Redskins potentially having him being going to the Vikings for a fourth round,
Yeah,
and he
because
and he vetoed it?
I don't know if he vetoed it or not. You might have heard in the through the grapevine that the Vikings or that the 49ers that was trying to get him as well, and that might have happened. I don't know, but I think the Vikings had interest because the Redskins Rivera, and this is confirmed through John Lynch over there in the 49ers. They said, "Yo, we're gonna put a hold on y'all's offer, and because we're getting we're getting other offers during like right before the draft." So and that the 49ers trade didn't happen till day 2. So I feel like maybe something happened between the Vikings or whoever else, and maybe Trent Williams camp and or the Redskins or whatever. So it might have been what happened that killed maybe a better value deal. You know what I mean?
So the speculation was, I heard two different things. One, that Trent heard about the 49ers and uh, preferred to go to I guess
That's
he
what I
was
heard.
more willing to ease up on his contract situation if he were with the 49ers because they
Right,
had a better chance of winning,
right,
and that the Vikings weren't going to be as willing to give him the contract that he wanted.
right.
So those are the things that I heard. I don't have any inside sources to say one way or the other, but I mean, the one thing I will say is, though Trent Williams will go down as one of my favorite modern day Redskins of all time, I'm
He
glad
slapped
that
Richard Sherman.
so what
He slapped Richard Sherman. That's, he
I'm
Redskin
glad
for
that
life
it's
for that.
over. Yeah, I'm glad that
Absolutely.
it's over. Not necessarily his tenure is over. I'm glad that
Right,
the
right,
circus is over. I mean,
right,
clearly, I know that bitter Redskins fans, one way or the other, whether it's pro Trent or against them, are going to base their opinions on how he performs and how we perform. Like, my thing is this: I don't really care how he does in San Francisco. I don't, because he's no longer a Redskin. The only time I would care about his performance in San Francisco is if we play them. And that's the only time I'll care. It's
right,
like, same with Kirk Cousins, when, people were so pro and against Kirk. It's like they every day in the Redskins blog, it's Kirk Cousins this, Kirk Cousins this. Like, yo, he doesn't play for the Redskins anymore. Why are we still talking about him?
right.
It's like, and they don't understand, like, these are some of the reasons why we look so bad to other fan bases, and we just say, "Oh, it's the Cowboys, Cowboys." Nah, we look just because we live around Cowboys fans and Giants fans. You sound alike. If you didn't hear the team, just the chatter alone, a lot of these Redskins and Cowboys fans sound just alike. So
Mhm.
I'm not going to judge Trent. I don't really care what Trent does anymore. Like, I wish him all the success in the world outside of Redskins success and out of Packers success. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Mhm.
I wish they would have traded him to the AFC, but that's not here nor there. I always wish they trade a player to another conference. I don't want to see him. I don't want their success to
I
affect us
mean,
too direct.
we played the 49ers last year, so it might be another 3 years between
Yeah.
the
Unless
time.
unless we finish in this with the same position, which won't happen. I don't see the Redskins finishing number one in the division this year. I'd have
No.
to. I think they won't. I don't think they'll be as bad as they were this previous season, but I
Right.
don't know if they have. I mean, they do have the schedule to compete, though. I will say this: looking at the teams that they play, they have the schedule to be competitive uh, if they present themselves well on the field.
All right.
You know, Ron Rivera has been heralded as this great coach. So do you give him 1 year to figure it out, or do you expect marginal changes immediately? You know what I'm saying? So that's
Well,
how it's going, and I think that's why it was key in my opinion, it was key to not screw up this draft and bringing in the slam dunk Chase Young, the best player in the draft with the number 2 overall pick, was a no-brainer to me. We had some people saying that, oh, we're going to draft Tua, or we should trade back and get another pick and then try to grab Isaiah Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
I like Isaiah Simmons. I think he's going to have a fine career, but he's not Chase Young. And I think there's something to having Chase Young be somebody who's from here. I think the organization needs a spark. You know what I'm saying? They need something for this fan base to really sink their teeth into. You know what I'm saying? To offset a lot of the nonsense that they, you know what I'm saying, put out product wise and just bad PR left and right. Chase Young, you know what I'm saying, he might fix a lot of the ills of the organization before he even officially puts on a jersey with shoulder pads this year. So I think so. If you look at the draft so far, I thought Cincinnati did a really good job. I think drafting Burrow was smart, number 1 overall. You know, because clearly
you like Joe Burrow. You like Joe Burrow as a number one.
I like Joe Burrow. Listen, I like Joe Burrow.
Okay.
I think I like his ability to play the game, and I like his attitude. I like those type of guys.
Okay.
I think Cincinnati is the right organization for a guy like him, where it's like they just got rid of Andy Dalton, so you don't have that incumbent starter franchise quarterback in your way, or his presence hanging over your shoulders. Even if he weren't going to start this year, they could bring in another veteran to start a game or two to take those first beatings. But I guess he's going to start from out the gate.
I think he starts out the gate. I don't.
They're in a tough division, but market-wise, they're not. Even though he's a number 1 overall, the media pressure isn't going to be as if he were in a big market city, and that helps him, gives him time to develop, as long as you protect him. So, and I like Joe Burrow though.
Okay, that's what's up. So you liked him over Tua?
It's gonna be tough. I think they both gonna be good because I think they both got in good situations. The best thing for Tua, I'm telling you, the best thing for Tua going to Miami is Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay. That's the best thing.
Why is that? That's interesting.
Because I feel like part of the stranglehold of the AFC East is the Patriots, and Tom Brady is the face of that. So, yeah, you still have Belichick there calling the shots, but now you actually you feel like it's like
it's up for grabs.
It's like when the first time you see a heavyweight champion or a boxer lose a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like now they have a weakness. Now I can like how many boxers that lost a fight lost just one fight.
Right.
It's like once you lose, all of a sudden, oh, I see how. Like it's a aura that's no longer there. And I feel like with Tom leaving, like losing the way they lost to Tennessee, and then him leaving, and now you have to rebuild that offense around a new quarterback. And I don't doubt Belichick will be able to do it. It's a lot, like the decision making that Tom Brady is going to have. You're not just getting that next. I don't see that happening next year. Like even if they get us. I mean, even if Garoppolo would have eventually been that quarterback, Garoppolo couldn't do what Tom does. So you feel like I have a little more. I have more confidence beating this team if I don't, like, you would fear turning the ball over or not getting points because you gave the ball back to the Patriots with Tom Brady in the fourth quarter. Now you don't have as much pressure to have to score a touchdown in the fourth quarter because you don't have to worry about Tom Brady marching down and putting his team in position to win the game, right? So it's just a little different. So I feel like with Tua being a young quarterback, I think Miami's done a lot of wheeling and dealing. You know what I'm saying? Some good, some bad to try to change that roster around and give them a new look.
What's the bad? What's the bad for you?
I mean, it depends on if you're a fan. You want to, if you have that win now mentality, like, oh, you counting all these chickens, like, oh, we got this player and that player, and then you just see them trading everybody last year. Like, I mean, they let a lot of good players go. So it's like, but they started getting picked.
Jarwin James and Larry Tunsil, right? Oh no, Brandon Cook is gone too. So it's a couple.
I mean, but sometimes you, if it's that one player that you think is you can be building around, and I feel like you think those are going to be guys who are part of the future, and it's like, wait, you did what? Like, these are performing guys. These aren't like, it's like,
yeah, Derwin James. I think that I don't know what the situation was in Miami, but I mean he played well in Pittsburgh, so it's hard.
It's like,
you know,
I compare it. It's similar to the Raiders trading Amari Cooper and Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not Matt talent for talent, but just like pieces that you feel like you need in order to win.
I mean, the best,
and you trade them away.
I mean, Amari Cooper is a wide receiver, is a dependent position, but edge rusher is the second or third most important position in football. So it's
right
kind of
now, I'm not comparing talent for talent. I'm just saying, like, just key pieces that you would need. Right.
That's all I'm saying. Is it's if you have a top 3 pit player at the position that whatever they're playing at, period, I think you hold on to them as if you can. If the situation is untenable, like the Redskins had, and with Trent Williams, then of course you try to get what you can from him. Bruce Allen didn't do him any favors in 2019, but they did what they did. So let me get back to Tua, because you said you think Tua's got a favorable position in AFC East. I just don't think. I think it's good that Miami didn't trade up to get him. They didn't, you know what I mean? They didn't have to give up any assets to get him. But I don't know how he's going to hold up. The hip injury scares the hell out of me, because it was compared to Bo Jackson's. And when you're a kid growing up, and Bo Jackson was the greatest player that you ever seen in your life, and he had this hip injury that allowed him not to play either sport that he was playing at whatever level he was playing at. That to me spells doom to whatever career.
So here's my thing about that, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
If Bo Jackson had that injury, now he'd still be playing football.
I don't know.
Because even though he stopped playing football, he still played another 10 years in baseball. So it wasn't like
it was a very reduced level. It wasn't the same.
But modern medicine has advanced so much since then. Just think about it. We watched KD and John Wall go down with Achilles injuries, and they'll be back next year. They could play. They can, if the NBA season starts in June or July, those dudes can be on the court.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that would have happened in 1990, that would be their career.
Well, at the same, I understand that in 1990 there's the difference in Achilles injuries, but and like guys like Danny Manning who had ACLs, who didn't quite come back at the same level that Danny Manning they projected Danny Manning to be at, probably in 20 if he got that same injury in 2019, it wouldn't be the same. So I understand that, but I just think that the hip injury is just one thing. He had a knee injury, he had ankle injuries, he had a wrist injury. I think they even came up during the combine. So it's not just the hip, but the hip worries me out of everything that you said.
Everything else
I just listed worries me the most. I think that's, and you're saying that as a 3-year starter in Alabama, who's probably taking a lot of punishment at the top level in NCAA. You're asking him to be a top player in the NFL, especially early, because there's nobody in front of him and there's nobody behind him in Miami. So like I said, Miami was it's a smart pick at 5. You know what I mean? It's not crazy at 5 at that point, right? But
Right.
you know, and it's not like throwing your whole your whole franchise away like before the the rookie wage scale. It's not as dangerous to draft somebody that doesn't work out that early. But that's being said, that's the most interesting pick that high. It's gonna happen, but you know, so let's get back to local. Chase Young, like you talked about Chase Young, and of course Chase Young was the obvious pick. If you're not gonna trade out of the pick, uh, do you think that's a vote of confidence for Dwayne Haskins?
No,
I don't
I
think so
don't
either.
think I don't think Chase Young being drafted has anything to do with Dwayne Haskins. I think it says if I draft this kid, it's telling everybody our identity is going to be defense, and
Mm-hmm.
all we need at the very least is a quarterback who can manage the game, and whether that be Haskins, who has opportunity to improve upon his rookie year, or he could be replaced by Allen, who came over from Carolina to just manage the game, which he's already shown he has the capability to do. And I think that that'll help Haskins. I think Allen coming over, it's like it's showing him, you had an injured Alex Smith in front of you who's probably never gonna get on the field again.
He shouldn't get
And
on.
then you
He
and then
shouldn't.
you had,
Period.
well, he's gonna pretend that he wants to get on so he can continue to get paid. But that's not
Honestly,
here nor there.
if that's his goal, if his motivation is to stick him on the wall to get back from from whatever that sick injury he had, all
Right.
power to him. All power to him. If there's a doctor in America that would say, "Yo, you can get back on the
He's not
field,"
getting on the field.
you should lose your license before the day before you say there's some wild shit like that. That's what.
He will
That's
never.
all. That's
Right.
all.
So we both agree that Alex is not or should not ever be back on the field.
Not at
Right.
all.
So
No.
that means you have Case Keenum starting in front of you. So you have Case Keenum,
Mm-hmm.
and it's different when you have it where you're the rookie backup backing up a placeholder like Case Keenum versus now you're going in, you were the starter going into the season with a backup capable of starting ahead of you. So it's sort
Right.
of like you should always have pressure. You should always have competition available. But you now have somebody who's like, if they come in and say, hey, listen, this is our starter and you can compete, but this is our starter, I feel like that's going to help Haskins. But I also feel like the Redskins are more focused on the defense. Because initially, when I first saw that they came back and drafted the way they did the draft, it showed me that they were more focused on possession on offense instead of like I didn't feel like they were doing a lot to really be dynamic offensively,
What do you think
but they
about
focus.
Antonio Gibson? While we're on the Redskins draft, I don't, I don't have a like a opinion because it was other than like how he affects the depth chart with whether it's wide receiver, running back. I don't really have an opinion. Um, he played in Memphis, and I see this. I see the highlights. I don't know.
I think the Redskins wide receiver core will be very interesting this year. I feel like uh, Gibson, number one, he'll probably be the kickoff and or punt returner,
Absolutely.
and I think that will help him get on the field and be more productive on the field. I think he could be really good for us. We don't need any of the rookies to be the number one. We have a number one. We
Right.
just need our number one continue to develop,
Mm-hmm.
and that's Terry, scary Terry. Uh, then the second wide receiver they draft, that's a big boy.
Yes, I like Anthony
The
Golden.
the other the other Antonio.
And Gandy Golden. Gandy Golden is interesting to me because it seems like I was excited when I heard like when McLaren got drafted. People were like, oh, he's a special teams guy. He's fast. Like, okay, so you're fast, but then people are talking about how he loves the details. He loves the route running. He loves to try to figure that out. So when I heard all of that, that's when I got excited. And it came to fruition that he did way better than I thought he was going to do. But I thought he was going to be a player. So that came in fast. I think Gandy Golden can do that same thing. He's 6'4". You can't teach for 6'4". He jumps. He can his catch radius is crazy, and he the off the field stuff is the same type of way. He's smart, and he loves the details. So I think, and plus, if you look at some of the at least the highlights, like it's how he's getting open is getting off the line of the scrimmage. So it's and people are pressing him, but they can't keep a hold of him. Well, but the problem is, I mean, he's playing at Liberty University, so it's hard
Yeah.
to like scale that to NFL. But I love to hear about a guy that wants to master the details about your position or your job or whatever. So the same way I felt about McLaren, and he's not the best receiver that Haskins was thrown into at whatever point during Haskins' starting year in Ohio State. He became the best receiver out of that whatever the prospects were. So I think Gandy Golden is intriguing, fascinating, at least at this point.
So
I didn't even talk
the
about
risk did so. What'd you say?
I didn't put my opinion up on Chase Young yet, but that's all good.
Did the Redskins do what you wanted them to do with their draft this year?
Yeah, I wish they found a tight end. Whether I combined the draft with the offseason.
Did they not?
No, I don't. I mean, I like Thaddeus Moss, but I don't know if he's going to be. He can start this year.
Well, okay. So let's because I actually have a bet with DJ.
Okay.
That Thaddeus will start, and I based that on the fact I'm like, well, Vernon's gone, Jordan's gone, who's there? So it's going to be Thaddeus and Lance Thomas.
Logan Thomas.
Excuse me, Logan Thomas. Where did I get Lance Thomas from? Logan Thomas. I can see him getting on the field. I think Logan Thomas is a solid. I think he's done a really good job converting a tight end. Like, how many quarterbacks converted to tight end?
Not many.
That's not normal.
No.
Now,
they wanted Tebow to do it, and they got Matt. The kid that Jaguars, Jaguars drafted not too long ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Matt Brown. I'm blanking. What I liked about what I saw from Logan Thomas is that he's an ear blocker, and I think that's why they picked up Thaddeus Young as well. They want somebody that can block.
I'm saying wrong name. You saying wrong name? Yeah, Thaddeus Moss. So the funny thing about the good thing about Thaddeus Moss being signed as an undrafted free agent is that it allows the Redskins draft class offensively to go even further under the radar, because now all people are talking about is Thaddeus Moss. I mean, they talking about him like he was drafted.
Drafted, yeah, exactly.
Right? They're talking about him like he was drafted because, and the sad part is people are talking about him like, oh, that's Randy Moss's son. When I think about him, that's secondary to me. I think about how he performed during college playoff season last year. not just the national championship game, but the game before that, and going into that game.
So
Like
you
he,
watched. Okay, all right, my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and if you remember, if you backlog to our
We did
college
talk about
football
it.
championship game,
We
that's
talked
one
about it.
person that was on my radar. He was on my radar then.
I
So
brought it up. Too. Yeah, yeah.
and it had nothing to do with him being Randy Moss's
I
son.
didn't even know. I'm an asshole.
And that's what I'm saying. The fact, and I mean, he don't look like his daddy.
No, of course not. Nah.
He a big light skinned boy. You know what I'm saying? So he
Yeah.
don't look like his daddy. So you wouldn't just say, "Oh, that looks like Randy Moss." I mean,
Right.
because I mean, how many players in college right now have the name of somebody in the NFL? And it's like, and it's weird because you just finished watching Randy Moss play. You don't expect him to have a son coming out. So you don't necessarily think, "Oh,
Right.
it's his son,"
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Right.
a lot of people didn't know. So it's like now it's like, oh, the Redskins drafted. They got Thaddeus Moss. So that means Randy Moss is going to be helping them out. No, he works for ESPN. He has no ties to the Redskins. He's not going to be in training camp helping the wide receivers. That's not like if that's your fantasy and why you set happy that Thaddeus Moss is the Redskin, you need to let that go right now.
Well,
You need to.
I like that he's Moss. Well, we talked about, like you said, we talked about him in the championship game. He stood out. I like his hands, and I like that he wants to kill somebody when he blocks, and that's like
He
to me that's the like Jeremy Sprinkle was our blocking tight end, quote unquote, like the Redskins blocking tight end. Especially when Jordan and Davis went down, and it's like he couldn't catch a cold. Like if like there was like 5 or 6 balls, that Haskins threw to him that if he caught, it would make Haskins, nobody would be doubting as much. It'd still be doubts, but it wouldn't be, oh my God, Haskins had these numbers. Like, dog, his tight end failed him a few times. And then I just think like if you had a guy, whether or not he ran the routes, great routes or whatever, like Jordan Reed, a guy like Thaddeus Moss that could find a hole somewhere, he'll catch that ball if it's thrown to him. And
yeah.
if Haskins had that guy in 2019, it'd be the story would be not completely different, but a little bit different.
So I'm happy we got Thaddeus Moss.
Absolutely.
So
we talked a lot. We talked a lot about an undrafted free agent.
and here's the thing. Well, but this is why. This is my biggest thing. I'm happy we got him and didn't have to draft him.
Right.
So they got to get their whole draft off and then get him.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I'm happy about. Now he was the third tight end on my list that I wanted.
Okay.
Schmidt from Notre Dame, because I like the Irish.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the first. I mean, I knew we were going to get him. He was the first tight end off the board.
Mm-hmm.
The kid from Missouri, who I think people are going to be talking about him for years. Like he got drafted by the Broncos. I like what the Broncos are doing. Man, he's going to be a big time player in Denver.
Okay.
The kid from Missouri, and then there was Thaddeus Moss because I actually watched him play. But a few other players who I saw, I gotta salute the Cowboys for getting their wide receiver. I was a little upset when he got drafted by them, but man, he's gonna be a problem. If you don't know, you'll find out. He's gonna be a really good player for the Cowboys.
The Dallas
Higgins.
Yeah. Oh, Higgins, yes. Okay.
Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised he didn't go earlier.
Oh yeah.
And I talked about him in the championship episode.
All right, let's okay. Keeping it on receivers, Jerry Jeudy went to the 15. Did you think he was going to drop that low? I know a lot of Redskins fans early on during college football season was wanting him at their spot.
You know what I felt like? I feel like because of the pandemic causing the NFL, it shifted the way they did the draft. I think that affected the way the draft board moved. It felt like it changed it a little bit.
It absolutely
And I
did.
think that's why certain people were just they would more so didn't have to have that in person people looking at you like you crazy if you made a mistake or if you just went left. Like I don't know if the Green Bay Packers. I don't listen. That is. I don't even know if I want to talk about it right now. Just stick to the
Oh
wide
yeah,
receivers.
no. We was getting to that. I was getting to that.
We
I
stick
was getting to
to
that.
it.
I was getting to that.
Oh man.
I was getting to that.
Oh man.
I was
Talk
getting to
about
that.
an upset fan base.
Let's
Oh
okay.
my.
Since
Oh
we're there,
man.
the biggest surprise of the night was Jordan Love. The Packers trading up to get Jordan Love. I had heard Jordan Love was coming up, rising up draft boards.
That has to be the dumbest.
Right, okay.
That's the dumbest draft move for a quarterback since the Broncos moved up to get Brady Quinn. Was it Broncos? Or no, who was it?
Yeah,
Somebody. Was it Brady Quinn? No, it wasn't Brady. That
no,
Broncos
you're
Brady
talking about
Quinn. It
Tim
was
Tebow. You're
the
talking about
Broncos. I mean, excuse me, Broncos and Tebow. That
mm-hmm.
was the dumbest quarterback draft move. Like, I'm not saying, and let me, like everybody else says it, I'm not saying that I don't think Jordan Love will be a good quarterback. I'm saying you have a
You could have got him in the second round.
all-pro quarterback in place.
Right.
You don't need to trade up
You have
to get a guy who would have fell to you.
Right.
Like
right.
you take your chances with this one. Like
Right.
you have a respectable spot in the second round. Take your chances that he'll fall to you.
Right.
But I mean, and then they followed that up with drafting a running back. That was like they doubled down. Like so, you have an all-pro quarterback, an all-pro running back, and your first two picks are quarterback and running back. WTF moment right there.
So is who's the GM still? Is Thompson, right? Still, or did he drop off?
No, it's Thompson. Thompson not there anymore. I think he got something else now.
I mean, they got the new head coach. He tried it 1 year. Maybe he needs that quick out to say, hey, I want my guy, and the Packers did that for him. I just think it was strange. You have Aaron Rodgers who probably played another 4, 5, 6 years.
I'm probably gonna butcher his name, but the general manager for the Packers' name is Brian Gutekunst. Gutekunst.
So
Gutekunst.
so
Gutekunst.
yeah, something like that. So my guy got Teddy Thompson fired, but now they're trading up to get guys like Jordan Love. Man,
Yeah.
that'd be a nice pickup if Thompson came over to the Redskins. Anyway,
I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at
that. I think Thompson was a good GM. I just don't think McCarthy was a good coach. So whatever. And I think the Packers' philosophy, just in general, doesn't lead to it doesn't give you a good margin of error. You know what I mean?
I think they're too heavily invested in the live by die by the draft. I feel like the Patriots have the best balance of it, where as far as we draft, but we will sign when we need to. Like they had a few opportunities to sign key players and they didn't.
Yeah, and they'll try to get reclamation projects like Albert Haynesworth was up there. You know what I mean? They'll take gambles. They'll gamble. The Packers don't gamble too much. Actually, ever. So unless you're Brett Favre, but then that's all you got at gambled in Green Bay. That was an interesting move. So the Packers fan base in general is a thumbs down for Jordan Love.
Listen, they're hot. They're still hot right now. Find any Packers fan and talk about the draft.
All right. Now,
just go to a Packers fan and say so and see how they react. Just to saying the word so.
But the running back in the second round, how do you feel about him? Like as a player.
he's a good running back, and I mean, so it's like it's weird. Like they when you a 13-3 team and you lose to the
The kids y'all had at running
49ers,
back was good, man. I like the
huh?
kids that had running back. I like the kids that y'all had at running back last year.
No, but yeah, Aaron Jones is good, but I
Aaron
feel
Jones
like
was good.
it's a tough situation because you sort of like have the responsibility of drafting the best player available, and you can't necessarily draft to compete against one team, but at the same time, if you 13-3, that means you got most of the people out the way already. You need to start to
Right.
figure out how to catch up to these other teams who have other pieces. And maybe they felt like where they were drafting, they weren't going to be able to get those pieces, so they didn't want to. I'm saying waste, and they said, you know what? They just fortified these skill positions. I don't know. I don't know. But the
Um,
but it's based on player talent. It wasn't a bad draft. It was just based on the decisions and the roster already in place would make those picks questionable for the Packers, in my opinion.
I hear you. Getting back to the Redskins. I love Chase Young, obviously. If you have a chance to get the best player, you get the best
They
player.
just signed another offensive lineman,
That's all. Licky, likey, like whatever. He's
some guy from the Bucks.
a draft body. We'll see. Um, I think once the Redskins couldn't get Amari Cooper, not Amari Cooper, they said, okay, forget it,
or Anderson or Anderson from the Jets.
or Anderson. I don't think that was as big a deal as for them as Amari Cooper. They put up big money for Amari. Um, they said, okay, so we'll double down on the rookies, Steve Sims, or the second year guys coming back, McLaurin, Sims, um, um, Kelvin Harmon, and of course, they added Gandy Gold, and then they added Antonio Gibson, as a running back, wide receiver. Who knows what they're going to be? Tight end, like Chris Cooley says he's going to be an H back for him.
They got Gibson
Whatever.
listed as a running back though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's how a lot of people saw him. I don't know. I don't know enough about him. I
They
saw
have
him.
like 100 running backs right now, if
Yeah, they
that's
have
the case.
six guys that are, but that's the thing. I think they can hold four guys. And then their
Can
wide
they though?
receiver their wide receiver room is thin, so it's kind of like they can have six guys. Gibson could be the sixth guy in technically while he's in the running backs room, and still still count as their sixth receiver, quote unquote. You know what I mean? And go wherever they want to put him. Um, but I think Rivera and crew was thinking once they lost on a Cooper, they said, okay, this is a 2 year deal. It's not a 1 year deal. We thought we can get to 8-8, 9-9, or 9-7. We're not going to do that. So they said, okay, well, we're going to fall back, let Haskins prove himself, and if he fails, we're in line for Trevor Lawrence. If he doesn't, we have the quarterback that we'll have at least for the next 5 years. You know what I mean? So, um,
So let's talk about Gibson. I want to talk about him for a bit because my thing is, okay, you got a kid that's 6 feet, 225 pounds,
yep,
played wide receiver,
yep.
return man, but
hmm
you draft him and
He played in
slate
he
him.
was a running back too. He
You
played in the backfield too. He was in the backfield. Yep.
So what I like about him is that though he only had 38 catches. He averaged 19 yards a catch.
It's crazy.
So
Big
that
play guy.
means so that now my numbers in front of me don't tell me whether or not that's upon reception or what the yak is on that. I can imagine the kid is getting that yak. When you average 19 yards, that means you getting yak. So that means you good after you catch the ball.
He was
And I
averaging
think
15 and a half yards per play that he got the ball, whether it's in the backfield or as in the reception area, like as a wide
so.
receiver.
So
So
we don't have a big uh, info sourcing team behind us. So We're limited
Nah,
to
man, that's not.
our resources to say how many yards. Like, I wanted to see what his yak is, but that's really good right there.
I did.
And
I
he
did.
averaged 19.
I did see that, but I didn't write it down. So we're at. So yes, no. The running back room is going to be interesting. You know, who's going to leave? Like Bryce Love hasn't played a down, but he was great in Stanford. They drafted him in the 4th round last year. Darius Geis was a 2nd round pick 2 years ago. So 3 years ago. But he can't
Yeah,
stay
somebody
healthy.
not gonna make it.
AP just got his option picked up. They signed 2 guys. They signed Peyton Barber and Riddick. And so there's 6 guys in the running back room, and what does that look like? How does that work? So we'll see, man. But that
And
also like the philosophy that they had. And that's why Trent Williams had to go, I guess, because and Quentin Dunbar was they weren't extending anybody. Nobody's been extended. Even the save cap room, Ryan Kerrigan hasn't been extended. So it's everybody's on a prove it year. Like they signed Ronald Darby to a 1-year deal. They signed Sean Davis to a 1-year deal. I don't know. That's what leads to me to believe this year is look at what he's basically telling Snyder, look at what we do without the big time talent. Right, not big time. There's some big time talent on that squad. Look what we do with the talent that's already here, and watch what we do when we we really gear it up for a full off season. That's what I think.
so I'm really intrigued to see, and I think if I look at those running backs, I don't know if Geis is still here,
I think Geis is on notice.
and it's
I do think that.
I think I mean because I haven't seen enough to say, oh, he has the talent.
I seen the talent is he can't stay on the
Like,
field.
I
Somebody
mean, what
bouncing
I'm
off
saying.
the breaks.
Okay, what I'm saying is I haven't seen enough to say that he has talent enough to hold him
Okay.
as injury prone as he is over other people
Okay.
who either getting less money or who have an opportunity to show themselves.
I
You know what
hear
I'm
you.
saying? That's what I
That.
mean.
Okay.
So, but I'm looking forward to see what Charles can do with that at that tackle position.
Yeah, Sadiq. I
I mean
wish
that I see
he
that
had
boy
somebody in front of him.
he has sticky hands. He keeps his guys he
Man,
can keep his guys clean.
I
He kept
saw.
like part of Burrow's success was Charles keeping him clean.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, if you go and look, don't see that's the thing. People when you look at the offensive linemen, sometimes you can't look at their tapes. You gotta look at it's like when you have a good defensive end, instead
Mm-hmm.
of looking at that defensive, when you go look at that great defensive ends tape, look at how he's able to get one-on-one matchups. That means look who's on the inside. Look at that defensive tackle, and that's who I want to look at. If I can't, you know what I'm saying, you want the edge rusher, but I want to see why he's able to stay clean and get the one-on-one matchups. So when I look at Joe Burrow's highlight tapes, I'm like, man, that man can stay. He can get some pocket presence, but he ain't getting touched. Who's that left tackle?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, boom. I mean, and it it favored him to have a guy like Charles who can stand big in that and protect that blind side for the quarterback. It's pretty
Fact.
big. So I'm happy to see what Charles is going to be for the team.
Do you think the off season, off the field, whatever they talk about, maturity issues? Do you think that's going to be an issue for him in the next level? I heard it's a lot. I heard there's a couple weed things, but there was some other stuff. So
Hey, Trent Williams had weed issues.
that's true. And weed is not like in the new CBA. That's not a big issue. So
Weed needs to no longer be
it's
something
not.
that they need to get it together and get that up. Get that.
Well, yeah, the new CBA kind of like eliminates that as something that can keep you off the field. So that's a good thing. Hopefully, and hopefully the other off the field issues aren't significant. Maybe they're just little stupid things. Like he needs to get on. He gets the meetings on time, and hopefully, like he slipped to the 4th round. He could have been a 1st round guy. it's like, yo, if you want this money in 3 years, hey, get to that offensive line meeting on time, bro. You know what I mean? If you want to start, you need to be where you need to be. You need to listen to who you need to listen to, and I think that's a good motivation. If you're not motivated by that, then you probably shouldn't be in the league. Period. You know what I
So
mean?
what grade did you get at Redskins?
I give it, like, if Chase Young is who Chase Young's supposed to be, it's an A. It's an
Okay.
A plus. Don't give a
That's
fuck.
because they
It doesn't matter who else plays. Chase Young, if Chase Young even gets the attention to let Montez Sweat do what he needs to do, it's an A plus. You know what I mean? It's just the facts. John Allen, Darius, Deron Payne, and Matt and
so much potential.
that's a lot. That's a lot up front. If Chase Young gets at least the first couple looks, oh, we probably need to, pay attention to that man. It's an A
I
plus.
I gave him an A minus.
And
I gave him an A minus.
if Gandy Golden plays the way I think he might play, of course I feel that's A plus. Even if what I say about Chase Young doesn't come into fruition as much as the expectations are. If Gandy Golden plays as much as well as I will hope and think, we'll see something. I think that puts it back to A plus. So if Gandy Golden plays well and Chase Young doesn't play as well, or the numbers don't match up, okay, still A plus. But if Chase Young, exceeds expectations, A plus. A plus. What about you?
I think I think pretty much everybody had a good draft this year, except for I guess the Packers. But I think the Bengals. I'll finish up with this. I get back to. I think the Bengals had I think they had the best draft.
That's what's up.
I think the Bengals had the best draft. I mean, starting off with Joe Burrow, and then following it up with drafting T. Higgins.
What
That's
did you
gonna
say?
be a nice.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Wait. Okay. So the Bengals to you, like, outperformed. The Dolphins had the most capital going into that draft. So how do you
yeah.
think?
Well, okay. So, like I said, I like the Bengals because I like the Bengals getting Joe Burrow
Mm-hmm.
and then getting T. Higgins. Because last time I checked, they still got a number one over there.
Mm-hmm.
AJ ain't gone nowhere yet.
No.
So you pairing them two,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I think they always find a way to stay competitive. So I think that'll be a nice. And then they followed it up with drafting two linebackers and a D lineman. So they got skill positions out the way, and then went straight to defense, and they went defense hard. So I like that about the Bengals. I like that's what they did, and I feel like that was key for their division because you need guys who are quick to spy on Lamar Jackson. Because if you don't have guys on the edge who can keep him honest, you're gonna be in for a long day. Uh, you now you saying the Dolphins?
Yeah. They had the most first round draft picks. They had a lot of draft capital. And how did you feel? How you feel they did? I don't have an opinion because I don't.
I
I'm
think
not.
I mean the Dolphins did fairly well. They drafted, of course, they got Tua, and then they drafted a tackle at
Mm-hmm.
the 18th pick
Mm-hmm.
out of US. See, I'm not really big on USC though, and I don't, I just don't really.
Mm.
I'm not in love with USC. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's one of those great college schools that don't necessarily produce like.
Who's the best USC player that's come out the last couple of years?
But if you hear the trepidation in my voice, it's because they didn't draft a skill player from USC.
Right.
Now, last time I saw a lineman come out of USC was a lineman, and he was a dog for a long time.
Right.
So, uh, I think the Dolphins can be pretty well. They can. I think they'll be okay, but it's still the Dolphins, and that's the problem.
Mhm.
It's still the Dolphins. And
Mhm.
you've already spoke on the air the health concerns of Tua. So
All right. So wrapping up draft talk. Who's the best player that's gonna who's the NFL Rookie of the Year? Defense, offense.
uh defense may very well be Chase. Defense
Mhm.
defense player of the year, the defensive rookie of the year might be Chase. The fact that he gets to play with Ron Rivera, who's a great defensive coach, who
Mhm.
has other pieces around. I mean, he's not going to be coming to a team where he's like the only piece. He'll have Ryan Kerrigan on the other side,
Mhm.
and you already mentioned Payne and Anderson and Sweat. They got Landon Collins. I'm saying the secondary.
Mhm.
They had the defense.
They
The
got
Redskins
pieces.
the Redskins defense this year should be pretty good, and he could be the linchpin. So therefore, I think that'll sway well for the media
I,
and being a hometown kid.
just to piggyback off of that, as far as the defense, if they play better, yeah, if they play better to a crazy degree, it'd be so damning of Bruce Allen and even Jay Gruden for even thinking Greg Minuski could be a defensive coordinator. It would make me very, very sad that he was here 2 seasons and you know it was just a waste of time.
Now,
My bad. So offensive
now
player.
offense. If Joe comes out and has a good rookie year, the rookie of the year is his.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the quarterback get the best opportunity to put up numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's getting the ball to his guys and he picks up a good amount of playbook and perform, the rookie of the year is his. But if you take it out of the quarterback's hands, you go to another skill position. You got Judy's going to have a good chance of getting it. I
Who's
don't, I don't, I
who's
don't
the
know
best
if
running back coming out? Who's the best running back coming out?
they didn't. There's no running backs to win the first round.
Yeah, but like, who did you feel like should be, or who you think is gonna get some run?
DeAndre Swift, and that's he went to the Lions. So the Lions tend to have a cluttered backfield. So a lot of times, I think they probably start cleaning them out, and I think he'll be the day one starter.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think he's pretty. I mean, Georgia running backs, man. Georgia running backs, they seem to be they usually be solid backs. So
Right.
I think DeAndre Swift has a good chance as long as Stafford can stay healthy and you know what I'm saying, throw the ball 30 times to keep the defense from stacking the box.
Mm-hmm.
Swift can have a good chance at it. Uh, I also so I'll give Swift a chance because that you always got to give the rookie the running back a chance. So I'll say Swift. But quarterback, I've already said that I think that Joe Burrow he'll come out a little hotter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Wide receiver wise, I don't. I think CD will be pretty good, but the fact that he won't be the number one
Right.
target,
Right.
well, he won't have the catches to be the rookie of the year. Amari Cooper's the featured wide receiver in that offense. So, uh, but Henry Ruggs though, I think Henry Ruggs got a chance going to excuse me, the wide receiver from Alabama end up going to the Raiders. I think Derek Carr's at worst is a serviceable quarterback, and he's already shown that he can have success at the quarterback position when him and Amari first teamed up. So I think Ruggs can have a rookie year with him. It's after that, and Gruden. I don't know. I think Gruden can do some things. And I'm a big fan. It was funny. I was talking to DJ. I'm like, man, you know what I miss about this draft? I miss Mike Mayock. I miss hearing Mike Mayock talk about the rookies. Like, so now that voice is with the Raiders. So if John Lynch can be a good GM for the 49ers, it's hard for me to believe that Mike Mayock can't be there for the Raiders. So those are my candidates for rookie of the year offensively. Joe Burrow, Henry Ruggs, and Swift with the Lions. So what you got? Is that who you had? Anybody that I missed that you might want to put on the radar? Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Um, I like CD. I like CD Lamb. I like Jerry Judy. And if people are saying like Chase Young is the better than Bosa's, so I mean better rated than the Bosa's coming out. Like how do you match that with John Allen and Deron Payne and not come out with a rookie of the year?
You know what? Before we wrap up this pod, I want
Uh-huh.
to say this. I feel like the Eagles shouldn't get left off the hook. I
Why
don't think the Eagles had a good. I think the Eagles had a worse draft than the Packers did. The Packers went 13-3. Yeah, they drafted Jordan Love, and Jordan Love will sit on the bench. So you basically that's a draft pick for the future. But their
right,
running back, the running back he'll get playing. It's not like running backs just you only play one running back. You
right.
have multiple people playing. So when Aaron's not running, he'll be running. But
Mhm.
I don't Jalen Hurts. I don't know if you need Jalen Hurts when you like. Why do you draft Jalen Hurts when you have Carson Wentz? You're invested in him.
They wanted to do a Taysom Hill type thing. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I don't know. I mean, I don't get it either. I don't think that's the best use of a pick. Shout out to Jalen Hurt. I mean,
Not
but
a second round pick.
no, absolutely not. Shout out to Jalen Hurt, but I don't think the Eagles. I think that was yeah, that was a reach. That was a reach. I agree. I agree. No
So yeah, I didn't want to let them off the hook.
doubt. Eagles,
All
you
right.
can die. Eagles die. Um,
Bobby's gonna love to hear that.
absolutely. Shout out to Burr.
Hey,
Um,
we
uh, your team sucks, bro. The other biggest news, the biggest other sports news was the Michael Jordan doc. And before you get to your thoughts on the Michael Jordan doc, because I haven't seen the Michael Jordan doc, because I thought it was going to be a good idea because my girlfriend says I want to see Little Fires Everywhere, and that's on Hulu. I said, all right, no doubt, I'll pick up Hulu again, and let me get the bundle. I'll get Disney Plus back. I'll get ESPN Plus, and I can watch my doc, The Last Dance. So uh, Sunday comes around, and I try to watch The Last Dance. Or no, Saturday morning comes around, and I try to catch up on The Last Dance because the first two episodes had already aired, and they tell me, "Oh no, you need ESPN Live." And then I try, not ESPN, you need Hulu. So I go to Hulu and try to, watch it. Oh, you need Hulu Live. It's like, what? I get a bundle for that all these ABC, Disney owned properties. I can't watch shows live. What is ESPN Plus for? That I can't watch the shows live, not even shows live, shows recorded at any point. That doesn't make any. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm sitting here with a bundle because I'm watching Little Fires Everywhere, which is a good show. Shout out to Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon. It's a fine show. It's not for me. It was okay. It was 8
we'll,
episodes. It's fine. And Reese Witherspoon does her thing.
we'll talk television.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
We'll talk television.
I'm gonna let you get to your last dance thoughts, or after this. F you, Disney. That's my that's my takeaway from this. F you, Disney. That's what it is.
though
I'm pissed. I'm still mad about this.
I cannot wait to discuss The Last Dance. But I will wait because I'm not going to discuss it until you've seen it.
Okay.
I want to wait until you've
I'm
seen
gonna
it.
have to bootleg it. I'm gonna have to, you know what I mean, do some black market or something.
We'll figure out a way for you to see it.
I'll find it.
We'll
I,
figure out a
I,
way for you to see it.
we
And
use it
it's
with the
going to be on
Zara.
Netflix though.
It's
It's going
going
to
to
be on Netflix.
be okay.
Yeah, because this one is ESPN and Netflix venture. So I think after it airs on ESPN, they're going to put the series on Netflix.
Hold on. I'm gonna catch it. I'll catch up with it.
So I don't know how soon, but they'll put it on Netflix. But I
I'm
want to wait until now because everybody else is doing it where it's like episode they come and give
Everybody's live
reactions.
tweeting it, and I feel like I'm missing out. So
You
I'm
are
mad.
missing out, by the way. Don't make no mistake about it. You are missing out. Be clear, you're missing out.
I
But
think it's a good thing. Like we lived we were kids when some of this stuff was happening. There's stuff that's going on through it. But also like we saw some of this in
I'm gonna tell
real
you what
time.
I'm gonna tell you what watching The Last Dance is like for me. Tell you what it's like. It's like growing up in a household or part of a family as a kid and seeing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but not completely understanding why and how everything happened, why this person broke up, why those two got in a fight, and why we moved from this county to that county, and why my mama, you know what I'm saying, all the things that changed while you were a kid that you had no idea about, and now watching the whys. Now it's like you think now it's another good one. It's like when you're little and you in school, your teachers are like the holiest people that you know outside of the church. And as adults, you know teachers and know they're the furthest from holiest. You know, they go to the bar on Friday nights. You know, some of them shake, you know what I'm saying, the females shake their butts on a Saturday night. You
Mm-hmm.
won't know you know what I'm saying, Miss Haynes is a functioning alcoholic in the third when you're in the third grade, right? But I know that functioning alcoholic as a teacher now. So I think that's what I equate this to. It's like we already knew Michael Jordan was. If you went in thinking Michael Jordan was the greatest player of all time, this does not change your opinion one way or the other. And if you are a Kobe, LeBron, they the greatest. This isn't necessarily going to tilt. It's not going to change it for you either. It may potentially give you more ammo to say, see, X, Y, Z. That's why he is. You know what I'm saying? So that I think that's the biggest false narrative out there. It's like this is more proof that Jordan is the greatest of all time. But
I mean,
it's a great.
They're gonna make a LeBron doc as soon as he retires. Like,
It's a
they're gonna make it look and seem as like he's the greatest player ever, or the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I don't slice bread. So it's easy to fall into that recency bias. This makes Jordan recent, right?
yep.
Um, even though you have some people that's not watched, that hasn't, that's watching the doc, didn't watch him play in real life in real time like we did. My thing is like we saw a Dream Team doc and it covered Jordan pretty extensively. So it's kind of
Yep.
like it's hard to me, there's things, I'm sure there's 100 things that I haven't never seen. But there's some of the Dream Team stuff I'm sure that has already been covered and things of that nature. I'm sad that I haven't seen it yet, and I'm not up to date with everybody else. And I'm definitely gonna catch in. I'm gonna tap into it however I can. I gotta get on Kazaa. I gotta get on whatever streaming, torrent site. I gotta catch it. But
We gonna do it the legit way, baby. All legit over here.
I'm not paying $55 to get Hulu Live, yo. Disney F
That's
you.
crazy.
That's
That's crazy.
bruh. They said $55. I'm like, bruh, come on, man.
That's crazy.
That's sick. That's sick. I'm not giving Comcast $180. How am I gonna give you? Why in the hell am I gonna give you $55 for your little? Shut up, get out of here, man. Whatever. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, Jordan's the GOAT for me, obviously. So I
Same
want
to
to
me.
I soak it. I want it.
Yeah,
Any
we're
information
gonna we're
I
gonna
can
wait
get.
until you can watch it all, unless it takes too long. Then I can't wait no more.
No,
We'll talk about that.
I'll figure it out tomorrow and catch up with it. I'll figure it out.
All right. All right. It's been a great one. Uh, we're gonna give y'all another. We're gonna give y'all another one in the can so y'all can enjoy the comedy styles of Brian and T. You wanna
The comedy styles.
you wanna ride up?
No, wait. Before you do that,